Hi guys, so we are looking at the base warm-ups that we would do normally at the start of each lesson, and there are a fair few exercises that would be good to start with. Naturally we'll move on to others, but these would be the best ones to use on a regular basis, and we'd normally start the majority of the lessons like this. So the first thing is we would be doing the chromatics. So by the chromatics I mean that we use all four of our fingers, and we use them one finger per fret. Pardon me. Normally we say at the start of the warm-up we pick a fret number to start with. So for instance I'll say 3, and normally it's easier the bigger the number, because the frets get smaller. Unlike guitarists, you know, these are like massive, you know, like you can fit, you know, I can fit 3 of my fingers in that one fret. So anyway, you'll pick the fret number 3, so 1, 2, 3. So that's what your first finger, your index finger, is playing, okay? Okay, should sound something like that on the E string, okay? And what we do is we use the first finger for the 3rd fret, second finger for the 4th fret, 3rd finger for the 5th fret, and pinky for the 6th. So you're going, okay? And then we did the same, but on the A string, starting on the 3rd fret, and then we move to the D string, and the G string. Okay, and one thing to be aware of as well is what I'm doing, and I'm sure you may have noticed, I'm not doing this. I'm not taking my fingers off when I'm playing the next one, because look how much movement I'm doing. It's pointless, okay? So if you just do this, keep your first finger on, and now you've got your first and second finger on. And then when you put your 3rd one, 1st, 2nd, and now 3rd. And you can probably guess the 4th one, 1st, 2nd, 3rd as well, and you just add 4th. So all 4 of my fingers right now are on that string. So if I wanted to go down, all I need to do is just take the 4th one off, take the 3rd one off, and take the 2nd one off. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so we normally do this at around 100 beats per minute. I'm going to do it at 80, just to start off with, and we'll do a warm-up as well. We'll do 2 times of each one, you know, one of 80 and then one of 100, just to sort of ease you into it. Okay. So what we would be doing is we'd be doing quarter notes as well. So starting on the 3rd fret, just to show you. So we'd be going, and then to the A string, same thing, and then to the D string, and lastly to the G string. Okay, and the same thing we would be doing on the way back, but instead of going, we would be going down. And remember, where all 4 fingers are on the string, we're just removing one at a time. So we're going, and finally the E string. Okay, so all together, let's play it through. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go, and we're going to play that last note, the very top one, with our pinky. We're going to play that twice, because the first time is the very end of when we're going up, and it's the first note that we're going down with, okay? So make sure you play this one twice, okay? That's the only thing that's different about that. Okay, so let's run it through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And twice. Okay, hopefully that was alright. So, but now what we'll do is we'll do exactly the same thing, but in 8ths, okay? And by 8ths, just to clarify, we're doing 2 in the space of 1 beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So exactly the same thing. And this, you might find that this is quite scary to do at first, but this is just something that you can build up in time. Okay, and we'll just do that. And normally, because it's half the length, we do it twice over. That makes sense. So when we're at the bottom, we play this one twice, like we did with the pinky. Okay, so let's run that through. So we're doing that twice over. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back down. Okay, we're going to do it again, so make sure you play that. Cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock it up to 100. I'm going to do exactly what we just did. First one starting on quarters, and again we're doing this on the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And back down. Okay, and then we'll do 8ths, and as I said like with last time at 80 beats per minute, we'll do it twice round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down. And again. Okay, so that's the first exercise that we normally do. The next one is octaves. Okay, so what do I mean by octaves? That is the same note. So if I'm playing a C, and it's the C above. So if I played the C above. Okay, so it's the same note, but just an octave higher. And we call the distance between these two an interval. So the interval between those two notes from C to high C is an octave. Okay, so, and the octaves, because it's, and this is one of the great things about learning bass and guitar, is the fact that the octaves are quite easy to find once you know the shape. So, if I'm starting on that 3rd fret again, to find the octave, I go 2 strings up, so we're on the D string, this one, and we're playing 2 frets above, sorry, 2 frets above the note that you're playing. So you think, 2 and 2, I suppose. So G, on 3rd fret, you go along, I suppose like graphs in maths, you go along the corridor, so you're on the 5th fret, and up the stairs. So now we are playing the 5th fret on the D string, and that's the same note. Okay, so with that being said, what we're doing now is we're starting on the 1st fret, okay, and we're doing that shape, okay, and then we're doing exactly the same shape, but we're starting on the A string, so you're playing that 3rd fret, 2 frets across on the G string, and we are skipping a fret each time, and doing exactly the same thing, skipping 2 frets, skipping 2 frets, skipping 2 frets, back to the E string. Okay, and I mean it might make more sense to end a little bit earlier, but I think it's fine just to end on that one. So that is the 15th fret on your index finger, 17th fret, which you'd be using your 3rd finger ideally. Okay, and the same as last time, I'll do this at 80 beats per minute. Okay, and we're just going to do these in quarters, same as before. And use a pick if you want to. Don't, it's not a bad thing to use a pick just because you're playing bass. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Skipping 2 frets. Skipping 2 frets. Keep going. And last one. Cool. So we'll do exactly the same thing, but hundreds now. Okay. And we'll be doing eighths of both both at 80 and 100 beats per minute as well, but we'll get to that. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. And the last one. Cool. And now I will put this at 80. I'm going to do eighths. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so notice we're going gradually faster and faster, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Okay, and that might be a bit quite fast for you, so if it is, just, you know, stop the video, slow it down, go back to the previous ones, practice it in your own time, whatever you find easiest. Okay, and let's do that at 100. We'd only do this for about 5 minutes on every one. I don't think this will be like an hour long every one. You know, it's just to show you it, because this is really handy to do every time you're playing, and, you know, like while you're waiting for a gig, you know, or like you're playing, or just general practicing, or anything where you're playing the bass. You know, I think these are good things to get the fingers moving, get the muscles moving, get the muscle memory going, so your hands and your brain are together. Cool. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and last one. Cool. Okay, so now we've done that one. One that we like to do to add on to that is quite similar. It's using fifths, and fifth, like an octave, is another interval. It's a smaller interval. And basically, think of it as relatively close to the middle. It's not the middle, but it's basically from C to C. G is pretty much there, okay? So when so the fifth is right in the middle, sorry, just to clarify. So when we're playing the octaves, one good way to find the fifth, if you don't know where it is already, it's to do 2 frets down the string. So you're on the 3rd fret if you sat in the 1st, 1 plus 2 is 3, and then you just got 1 string, not 2. Okay? So that's a fifth. Okay? So with this exercise we do exactly what we just did with the octaves, but we alternate between the octave and then the fifth. So if I'm playing this at 80, and we'll just do quarters just to show you. So from fifth to octave. Okay, does that make sense? So you're going, so you're switching, but you're keeping this the same, where your index is playing. You're playing the same notes, but it is your 3rd finger that's rolling, or your 4th, whichever you prefer. Okay, so let's do all of that. Exactly the same, going up to the 15th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost there. And last one. Okay, now I'm going to do exactly the same as we did last time, 100 beats per minute, and we're doing quarters as well. This may seem boring, it probably might be for you, but at the end of the day, this is a good kind of code of practice for just getting yourself warmed up, because once you can do this, then you put this aside and then you can just, you know, play or whatever. Cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost there. Okay, cool. So now we've done that, we're going to do 80. So 1 and 2 and. Okay, this is quite fast, and it really gets your first and third fingers moving quite a bit. You don't have to keep your first finger on that as well. If you find it a struggle, you know, feel free to move your finger a little bit. Not necessarily up here, because again, think about all this movement is just unnecessary. Okay, but just enough that it can, you know, you don't have to press anymore. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. There we go. Exactly the same thing at 100. Okay, so we're going 1 and 2 and so that speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the picture. Made a few little errors there, but you get the idea. Feel free to use this as a backing track. So, as I said, the main reason for using these are just to get used to everything and just to make sure your fingers are all warmed up. Hope this helps. If you need myself to help explain anything else, you know, drop me an email. Drop any of us, Jimmy, Mike, Vicky, anyone, an email. Well, not anyone, you know. And yeah,